Hello, Amos Tarfa again. We're talking about the mathematics. So, on the ACT, you have 5 sections, with one of them being optional. On the mathematics portion of the test, you have 60 questions in 60 minutes. This week, which is week 1 of 6 weeks, so you're in week 1, we're talking about basically how best to prepare for the math test. Well, if you're taking a baseline test, it's going to give us an idea of what concepts in math you have questions in and what concepts you've mastered. So basically, if you think about it this way, there are 2 sets of two categories. Or actually, you could probably add a third category if you want. You have mastered, you have not mastered, right? And then maybe there's some that you're just not sure of. And in those cases, I would just treat them as though you haven't mastered them. When you've mastered a concept, that means you understand how to do it any day, anytime. If someone wakes you up and says, please factor a polynomial, and you know how to do it, well, good. You might have mastered that. But if someone asks you to add rational expressions and you don't know how to do that, well, that means you need to spend some time learning how to add rational expressions. So one example that might help is think about when you play a sport. There are certain things that you can do when you're playing that sport. For example, when I play basketball, I don't usually shoot threes all the time when I'm on a team with people that are very good at shooting threes. I leave that up to them. I mean, I shoot it when I can, but generally the idea is that I know the things I've mastered in basketball, and shooting threes is not one of them. I'm probably 2 or 3 for 10 on a very good day, right? And some people are 9 for 10. And I'm talking unguarded. I'm 2 for 10 sometimes. I need to practice, don't get me wrong. My primary sport is soccer, right? With soccer, you give me that ball and we're going to school. We're going to work hard and we're going to make it work. Now, if you gave me the ball on my left leg in soccer, I wouldn't be able to score like Lionel Messi or anybody else who's very good with scoring with their left. So notice I have not mastered necessarily the skill of using my left, but I'm overall a good, okay soccer player. I've been playing soccer for many years. So the point is, think about mathematics like that. There are principles that need to be mastered. You need to master each principle in mathematics. And so this baseline test for mathematics, you can look at the list of concepts that we have on our website or on the ACT website. You know they want you to know certain concepts. So look at those concepts, practice those concepts. If you want, you could use that from your textbook, or just look online for each one. Or the other option is just to take that test, and then when you do your corrections, if you get number 15 wrong, then you ask yourself, why did I get number 15 wrong? Oh, it's factoring polynomials. Do you know how to factor polynomials? Actually, I'm not really sure. Why don't I go back and review that? So the baseline test will show you where you're at or give you an idea, and then you basically make sure you fill in any holes or any gaps, and then that will prepare you when you go back for the second test. So your first week, we want you to get that baseline test completed. The second week, we're actually going to dive into strategies for every single one of the exams. We're going to go in depth. I know we haven't done that as much now because we're just trying to get you going on the baseline. And then the third week, we're going to have you take your second test. When you take your second test, you would have had an opportunity to go over the various things. When you take your second test, you will notice you probably will do much better than your first test, or you'll do better for sure. And then the fourth week, we do the correction and the analysis again. And then the fifth week, we take a third test. And then the sixth week, if possible, we actually take a fourth test and do our corrections. So the same thing, you take the test for math today. You take the test, and then you grade the test, and then you do your corrections. So the corrections involve going back and asking why. That's really the goal. Why? That's the question that we're trying to look at. So we're taking the test, we're grading, and we're doing our corrections. Very important that we do all of those as we do our math test. So if you're not taking the full test in a day, I'm assuming that you're now working on day 2, so you're doing your math. But if you did the whole test in a day, well done. Use today to finish up those corrections for us. Thank you for your time. I look forward to seeing you in the next section when we talk about the reading test. Thanks again.